Neil from Essex here today to show you my latest failure. We have had great success selling brush guards for BX series tractors, sway bars to make your 3-point hitch more adjustable. This little tractor is so popular that we can justify the work to go through and kind of create things in order to improve your tractor and find enough of a market to make it profitable. The next product that has always been in the back of my mind, the one thing that I have always wanted to do for this tractor before we even got into the sway bars and the brush guards, was an upgraded air ride seat. So today we're going to talk to you about my failed journey in trying to create an air ride seat for a BX.
Essex, a helping hand with your land.
So with those things complete, the next thing I thought I would work on would be an improved seat for a BX series tractor. It is extremely common for us to hear from operators of equipment as they're out in the field wanting to improve the ride of their machine somehow. And that is, frankly, runs across the gamut of equipment, right? It could be utility tractors, skid loaders, zero-turn mowers, you name it. When you're running this equipment out across rough ground, it can be a rough ride, right? And if your body is not up to taking that shock and knocking around, looking for alternatives to improve that seat quality is a common thing for people to do. So I thought I would try to tackle this for the BX series tractor and ended up with this. So this is the prototype of my upgraded BX series seat. I have a couple of goals when we were putting this together, and really the primary one was to use as many of the existing parts as possible. When you start shopping for these components, seats are phenomenally expensive. It's not unusual in a big agricultural tractor for a high-end air ride Grammer seat to cost $3,000 and $4,000. Even seats for smaller equipment are often a couple $100 to replace. It is an expensive and costly piece. So I wanted to maintain the compatibility with the existing seat and only add some extra components down here in the bottom in order to add an air ride undercarriage between the seat and the tractor. This is an aftermarket undercarriage that we call. It's sourced through a company called A&I. It's a very common aftermarket parts supplier that we use. These are compatible with a lot of the bigger utility tractors. Now, it's usually used on machines that are 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 horsepower. In those applications, here on the BX, though, it caused us a handful of problems, and you'll see why. The next part here was to maintain the slides that are down here between this plate and the slides so that we could still move the seat front and back, have all of our same attachment points for things like seat belts. It was really just this middle adapter plate. In my mind, we should make adapter plates to be able to have a couple bolts to put this thing on between the seat and the tractor, and we're good to go. But it's a little tall. I don't know how I look to you, but I feel high sitting on this machine already. I'm pretty average, 5'10", and when I sit up here, I can still keep my feet down on the floor, but I'm reaching for the steering wheel, and the pedals and the levers are all down fairly low. If I had to say shift from high to low range down here, I'm reaching down to what feels like nearly my ankles to get there. The levers to turn my mower deck on and off, again, same thing. I can reach the lever fine in its upper position, but to take that lever and engage it, I have to lean forward and push down. However, I thought I had a glimmer of hope here at one point because the BX23 has a taller steering wheel than what the rest of this series does. That's because of the swivel seat plate that sits underneath this tractor. So I thought by adding that steering wheel onto this tractor, bringing the wheel up about 1.5 inches or so, I'd be able to make this work. But you're missing something here yet. I'm on an air ride seat, right? Right now my seat's collapsed. If I bounce up and down on here, I'm not getting any cushion whatsoever. This is no better than what a regular seat is. So if I sit down here and start inflating the air bladder in the air ride so I get that cushion that's gonna help improve the ride, I'm gonna raise myself up. And as I do that, you start to see where the problem is. Even getting 1 inch or so of ride in here, a little bit of bounce, and I feel like a 4-year-old with my feet off the floor. I've almost got to point my toes down here in order to reach the floor pan, and driving like this would be really difficult. And talking about those levers again, they're way down here. So this is kind of where we ended up. I thought this was going to be a fantastic idea, the next big Messick product, but my goodness, this is a little silly. And it just doesn't seem like there's enough space underneath the seat here to be able to fit all the components in and still leave the travel space that's needed for the air ride ladder to be effective. So that's a little bit of my attempt to fit an air ride seat onto a BX. I'm not done yet. We're gonna keep looking for kind of other product ideas that we feel can enhance the different tractors that we sell, kind of cool, unique things that we can offer up to you. And I thought that this one was funny enough, given how ridiculously high this sits, that I thought it was worth sharing. So I'm gonna pull the components off of this tractor and throw them up on eBay. If this is something that is actually appealing to you, if you see this video here soon enough, there'll be a link to an auction down in the description that will take you to eBay, and we're gonna get rid of these pieces because this is not something I can actually bring to market, right? So if you happen to be an NBA superstar or you're somehow 6'6" and this just looks like a great solution to you, I've got one that I can fix you up with. So if you're shopping for a piece of equipment and we can help, or if you've got parts and service needs for a machine you've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at messicks.com. There's this really annoying squeak. I don't know if I can I moved the slightest amount and it's just like squeak town. We're gonna have to move. I can't.